two, one. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Your boy, the Dread Man, is back, and this is the season finale of the NFL Fourth and Goal podcast. I'm your host. Here are my boys, Flipside and Walltop. Yes, sir. Glad to hear it. Now, overall, what were you guys thoughts about this season? Um, this season was very, very strange. But the thing is, it's strange in a good way because in the next year or two, we're going to see the league take a whole different direction. We're going to, it's not has been for like the last 5 or 10 years. So while what I saw was weird, I'm happy with what I'm going to see, especially with this draft coming up. And you know, it's as sad as I am to say it, it's the end of an era. But when something ends, what do you guys think of this season?
I thought it was pretty good. I know there was a lot of controversy around the extra game this season, and it wasn't as bad. I guess it can get bad, but thankfully it didn't get too bad this season with the injuries. We are going to get hurt regardless, but it was a good season. I enjoyed it. It felt like it didn't feel like it was an obvious season.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those seasons where it was like, oh, well, this is the clear-cut winner, this is the clear-cut winner. It felt like there was a lot of competition spread out now in the league, minus a few teams,
Definitely.
but that's always going to happen. But yeah, I enjoyed the season a lot, even though my team didn't make the playoffs. But it was still a pretty entertaining season, especially the playoffs so far.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So hopefully the Super Bowl keeps too.
Definitely. All right, Waz, what are your thoughts about this season? Oh yeah, and did you guys happen to take a look at your season predictions and records and see which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong?
I'm pretty sure the only one I got right was probably like the Packers. Pretty sure.
I said 13-4. For the Packers, I said 13-4. For the Steelers, I said like 11-5 or something like that. But I mean 11-6 or something like that. Yeah, that was kind of right where I thought it would be. And thing is, I said the Bengals were going to be third, and ended up being first in our division. So yeah.
Yeah, I had them, I think, third or fourth as well. I think I had them at 8-8 this year.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: I had them doing better than the Browns this year. But yeah,
that seems likely. It was a possibility, but it was unsure because of Joe Burrow's ACL recovery. I was entirely sure he was going to be back to full for the season.
Definitely.
Hey, he went to the Super Bowl, so he must be good.
Yeah. Wise, what's your thoughts?
I gotta say, so the both parts there, were pretty much off on most of my picks. I think I was only probably right with the Packers and Cowboys. I feel like having successful seasons. But
What's up?
it definitely did not have
Doing good, doing my podcast.
The Bengals coming out the way they did. I
They're on
think
the
I
phone
had
live right
probably
now.
higher hopes and expectations for the Chargers. And other than that, it was kind of a crapshoot, honestly. I think overall the season was good. Even though it was only one extra game, it did feel like the season dragged on a little bit longer than normal. Which is maybe because there was a lot up in the air, even going into like week 16, week 17. Things really hadn't been like all the way decided for all the playoff scenarios. And maybe that just dragged on. Maybe just felt like it dragged on the season a little bit more. But I did think overall it was good. I was surprised. I am like, I figured that somebody would have broken a single. I figured that we might have seen, like, with all of the favoring advanced, with all the rules favoring the quarterbacks, I was almost expecting somebody to break the single season passing yards this season. Just with the rules, I'm still expecting that. I think we'll see that in the next few years. I think someone's going to break, I believe it's Manning's record for most yards in a season.
Yes.
A couple almost did break the single receiving record. But of course, we might see that as well. But I do agree to your point earlier, Dreadman, about the kind of it does. I do feel like the NFL is come back to a little bit more of a parity. It does seem like with the Bengals and the Rams being in the Super Bowl, two teams that I don't think many would have expected going into the playoffs, maybe let alone starting to go.
Yeah.
And the Rams are essentially built for the Rams basically went all in with this roster for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They went all in with this roster to make it to the Super Bowl. And kudos to the Rams. Honestly, they made that. Some people, obviously they felt maybe it was a slight upgrade, but obviously not to the expectations that they'd make a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford their first year.
Oh yeah.
Kudos to them. I think they obviously that trade that they won that trade. That trade's a big hit. But I think going forward, with what I've seen from the Chiefs and Andy Reid the last few years, I think that expectations that the Chiefs would run the league and Mahomes would be in a Super Bowl every year and probably win several Super Bowl rings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's out the window now, especially with how good the AFC is now with their quarterbacks, with Burrow, with Herbert. The AFC is starting to get stacked with young talent. So
yeah.
I think now I think there's going to be a lot of jockeying for position. Oh, Josh Allen too. I can't
Yes,
without Josh Allen.
For sure.
Josh Allen as well. So yeah, I think the AFC is going to run things for a little bit, and we're going to see a lot of classic battles with those quarterbacks for the next few years. I think they're running away with the league right now. I think they outclassed the NFC.
So basically you're saying when you're saying if you were to compare it to the NBA, what you're saying is the AFC will be like the West and the NFC will be like the East in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Just in terms of
talent. Yeah.
You could argue the top heavy AFC. You could argue that the AFC. I think you could always argue that one conference has maybe the better top teams, but you might argue that another conference is deeper.
Yeah. But then you have another conference got the better individual players. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you could almost argue not only does the AFC probably have the best teams, but I think you might say that the AFC might just in general be a better conference, even with their mid-tier teams.
Right.
That's just how I feel.
The AFC can just become stacked real quickly because, outside the NFC West, there's really not a lot of NFC teams that are strong right now.
Yeah, there's probably about one or two. There's probably like one or two.
Look at the division.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, there's probably like, you know what? I'm going to be generous. I would say like in the next, let's just say 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 NFC teams that are believable Super Bowl contenders. And the Bucks are not that anymore because they don't have Tom Brady since he retired. I'll probably say the thing is, it's kind of up in the air right now. But it's because especially we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, where he's going. Yeah, there's probably only really about anywhere 2, 3, maybe 4 teams that you can see as possible Super Bowl contenders. Let's see, you got
we think about it. Look at the teams. Look at the NFC teams that made the playoffs, and look at the NFC teams that made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Bucks, San Francisco 49ers, Green Bay Packers.
Right.
All 3 of those teams are probably not going to have the same starting quarterback next year.
Probably not.
Right?
Yeah. All three
of those teams. So there's a potential chance you could argue that all 3 teams might be worse off next year. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I just feel like talent level is shifting. Like if you were to say name the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, I think you could probably say 4 out of the 5 are in the NFC.
Yeah, all 5. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Let's see who else. Justin Herbert, but
Herbert.
Joe Burrow, and
Aaron Rodgers. I would say Aaron Rodgers is probably the top NFC quarterback. We're just talking off the quarterback because he's my MVP. I'll put him in that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Stafford?
Matt Stafford.
Putting Stafford in that top 5.
I mean,
No.
well, but see here, this is the thing about Matt Stafford. We're going to talk about this in a second, but you could probably put him in the conversation for comeback player of the year. But yeah, man, because everybody has been saying for years that, man, Matt Stafford just needs some weapons and an O-line, and then he'll be elite. And the thing is, you stuck him on the Rams, who were a Super Bowl contender 3 years ago, and now he's in the Super Bowl. That's all he really needed. So yeah, I think he might be. I think you could make a case, but they say you're only as good as the team around you. So I mean, you could make that argument. I wouldn't say top 5. Maybe I would say top 10 though.
Top 10 for sure, not top 5.
I would say I put him over Burrow right now. For now.
Well,
I think Burrow's going to eventually pass him, but for now, I'm putting him.
Yeah, I mean,
Burrow took the Bengals to the Super Bowl in the second year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. I'm not discrediting that, but that defense has been playing lights out as well, and he's had some kind of streaky games in this playoff run. That's why I'm kind of skeptical about putting him over Stafford just yet.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing to me. The last two games that Stafford's played with the Rams in the playoffs, Stafford's looked a bit shaky at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been a little shaky. They almost blew the game to the Bucs. The Niners, they almost blew the game to the Niners. The Niners and the Rams were having like a back and forth over who could blow the game for this team.
Right.
But Burrow those last two games, man, like Burrow was down 21-3 to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And that second half, the Chiefs got locked down by the Bengals. I don't know what Zach Taylor did, but
that was one of the
game plan the hell out of that.
That was one of the sloppiest.
Burrow came back.
But yeah, that was one of the sloppiest displays I've ever seen. Like that was one of the sloppiest games that I've ever seen the Chiefs play, with Patrick Mahomes as their leader. I haven't seen a slop. Yeah, like even earlier on in the season when they blew the game against the Ravens, even you could argue that was sloppier. I mean, well, you could argue that the loss to the Bengals was sloppier, especially with the Bengals being with the Bengals being the underdog. So yeah,
They dared the Chiefs to run.
Yeah, but the thing is, Joe Burrow was previously sacked 9 daggone times against the Titans. Yeah. That's kind of what threw me off. I'm like, what the hell are we seeing here? And the thing is, the defense kind of did win in that game.
I think we underrate the Titans' pass rush. The Titans have a really nice pass rush. The Chiefs, on the other hand, their pass rush is kind of questionable. Frank Clark, he's nice, but he's not a Nick Bosa.
Nah.
For some reason, the Titans don't have like a Nick Bosa themselves, but they're the whole front line is just nice. Like they mesh together and they get the quarterback.
They don't.
They do. But he was making some unbelievable. Like he was making some unbelievable misses. Like he got hit like a whole bunch of air sacks in that second half, and he was spin moving. He was like spin moving out of a bunch with it. That was crazy.
Yeah, he's playing Madden for whatever reason. I don't know, but yeah. But all right, fellas. Let's talk about this. All right, for my MVP, I got Aaron Rodgers. For my offensive player of the year, I've definitely got Cooper Kupp. For my defensive player of the year, maybe I'm biased here, but TJ Watt. For my comeback player of the year, you can either give it to Matthew Stafford or you can give it to Joe Burrow. But I'm going to give a slight edge to Joe Burrow. And then for my rookie of the year, I got Jamar Chase. But yeah, Flip, what about you?
Funny enough, I think that's actually about the same for me.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, you could put Matthew Stafford in the conversation, especially because of where he came from, and then like from him to have a terrible record in his last year with the Lions, and then now he's in the Super Bowl with a completely other team. I mean, like I said, you could put him in the conversation for comeback player of the year. But go on.
I think I'm going to give it to Joe Burrow though, just because he came back from an ACL
Yeah,
injury,
ACL
to
injury,
take
right.
him to the Super Bowl and winning his division. What can I say though? Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm giving it to Micah Parsons.
Michael Parsons, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what's the other one I'm thinking?
Offensive
Coach of the Year, I'd probably give it to Zach Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, everything else I agree with you on. Offensive Rookie, I'm giving it to Jamar. Offensive
Jamar
Player,
Chase, yeah.
Cooper Kupp MVP. I'm giving it to Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I think TJ Watt Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I think I think it's kind of clear cut this year for a lot of these.
Yeah.
Like Jamar Chase went crazy. He had a Justin Jefferson type year, but it's just he wasn't up against the Justin Herbert. So he basically ran away with that one. Micah Parsons did some crazy things with the Cowboys. I know Trayvon Diggs got a lot of the shine on that team, but Parsons was out there killing it. TJ Watt, I think he tied the sack record, right? 22 sacks.
Yep, he tied it with Michael Strahan.
Game, but I mean, still commendable. Still commendable.
He didn't have Brett Favre fall into his arm.
Yeah, right.
True.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Yeah, Waz, what about you?
Aaron Rodgers, finally well-deserved.
Yeah.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers has been snubbed from a couple MVPs.
Thank you guys for the likes, by the way.
He always takes these guys to the top, so Aaron Rodgers and Cooper Kupp with the crazy season.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Stafford for clearly being the wide receiver whisperer. The man knows how to get yards for one player. So, I think it was a clear cut for me this year. For Coach of the Year, I was thinking between Vrabel and Zach Taylor, but I'm just going to give it to Zach Taylor just because he did lead this team, pretty young team, to playoff division number one. But Vrabel, I'm giving the honor.
I was close
because Derrick Henry went down.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up?
I said I was close to giving it to Cliff Kingsbury before the Cardinals fell apart at the end.
Oh yeah, they fell apart.
Yeah. I swear to God, I would have gave it to Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, if the Cardinals hadn't fallen apart and started getting injured and everything, I think he was a candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But when Derrick Henry went down, a lot of us were thinking, damn,
the Titans were done. Yeah.
It was over. And they still kept going strong. So, I mean, that was, impressive one for me. But yeah, I think we're pretty much neck and neck on our picks for that one.
All right, Waz, what about you? Who are your superlatives and players of the year?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of a chalk the way y'all have already explained it.
Yeah.
I think realistically, the only kind of really big arguable like superlatives you could use now are maybe MVP and maybe Coach of the Year.
Right.
Like we were discussing before with Coach of the Year. For me it's a toss between Zach Taylor or Vrabel. Just with what Vrabel was still able to do, minus the injuries they had. But I think Zach Taylor gets a slight nod. I have to go TJ Watt for
Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Offensive player Cooper Kupp. He almost eclipsed Megatron.
Yeah.
Even though he had an extra game. He
had a great year. Even Devontae.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you give it a Kupp off of how close he was to that record, which also
had scrimmage yards.
Yeah.
So I think that's he had 8.
The
whole he almost willed this. I'm with you guys. Joe, I could see. I don't have any harm or any debate trying to go against Micah Parsons.
For defensive rookie.
The Niners did. The Niners gave up draft picks to draft a quarterback that they hardly played the first year when they could have stayed at 12. Maybe got Micah, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm a player, rookie, and defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I don't have any argument on what you guys already said. I think we're all in agreement.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, and now it's time for what we all been waiting for. The Super Bowl 56 prediction. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the St. Louis Rams. And if you'd have told me at the beginning of the season this is going to be our Super Bowl, I would have laughed at you. But man, oh man, I mean, we're in for a show, gentlemen. I thought about this long and hard because a lot of people are expecting. I'm not hoping for one of those Super Bowl blowouts like we saw with the Seahawks and the Broncos like 8 or 9. It was about 9 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago now. Yeah, Jesus, time flies. But yeah, this is Joe Burrow's first time to the big dance, and it's Matthew Stafford's first time to the big dance. Now I've come up with three different scenarios to where each team could win. The best possible chance that the the best possible chance that the Rams could actually win this game is their defense. They have to scare the hell out of Joe Burrow. And the reason why I say that is because if the Titans defense can sack Joe Burrow 9 times, when you've got Aaron Donald and Von Miller on two opposing sides of the ball, that's scary. I mean, it really is. And the thing is, and even on the offensive side of the ball, like I said, you got an offensive player of the year in Cooper Kupp. And the thing, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Tyler Higbee, though that is a dangerous wide receiver trio right there, especially a dangerous wide receiver trio for Matt Stafford to have. And they got a good ass secondary. So yeah. But now just a case for the Bengals to win. They are really gonna have to, like, number one is they're obviously gonna have to protect Joe Burrow. They can't let him be touched. Good luck with that. And Joe Burrow's gonna have to get rid of that ball quick. And they're gonna have to. And the thing is, if he can't sling the ball, then they're obviously gonna have to step that running game of theirs up. And the defense has got to play lights out. They got to force turnovers and they got to force Matt Stafford to make mistakes. And that's gonna be hard to do. But we're gonna see how these boys perform under the lights. Oh man. Um, some people have this as a blowout. I don't. I got it being a lot more competitive than most people have. But give me the Rams 31-27 over the Bengals. Flip, who you got? Rams, Bengals, Super Bowl 56.
Yeah, just thinking about this, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about this game. Just kind of thinking about the path that both these teams took. The Rams got through the Bucks. The Rams got through the Niners. Two teams who Super Bowl candidates. The Bengals got through the Titans and the Chiefs, also Super Bowl candidates. But I wouldn't say the Titans were strong Super Bowl candidates. Chiefs, obviously, Super Bowl candidates. I just think the Chiefs kind of beat themselves in the second half of that game. And the Bucks and the Niners were both they were just kind of battled.
Yeah.
Which I expect because those teams I feel like were really talented teams. Even with the lack of Godwin and AB, which probably could have took Brady to the Super Bowl, honestly. I just think I'm trying to think, like, can this Bengals O-line stop Von Miller and Aaron Donald after not being able to stop that Titans D from kind of rushing Joe Burrow a lot? I mean, they did their job, and Burrow was able to do enough to get them to win, but I'm just thinking, like, can Burrow do that again against the secondary as well?
Yeah.
Because one bad throw, Jalen Ramsey is going to punish you for that.
Yeah. I think he knows better than to throw his way, though. You can't
rely on your... What's up?
I said, I think he might know better than to throw Jalen Ramsey's way, though.
I mean, when you're in the moment, though, it's like you got Aaron Donald chasing you down, and you're trying to get that ball out. You're not really looking at Jalen Ramsey out there. You're looking at your receiver, and you might throw it, and Jalen Ramsey cut the lane, take the pass. You never know. It happens. But the issue is, we saw it with the Chiefs. The Chiefs ran the score up on them 21-3. And the reason why the Chiefs couldn't keep that momentum going is because their run game was weak. Now, the Rams, on the other hand, they got Cam Akers back, who was going to be their starter for the season. He's a great pass catcher, a great runner. He's getting his legs back each game more and more. So the Rams, they have their run game. The Rams have arguably a better receiving core than the Chiefs, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
Odell's getting more and more chemistry with Matt Stafford as it goes. Like, we see him getting more involved in these games. So the Bengals can't just zone in on Cooper Kupp anymore. They have to pay attention to Van Jefferson and Odell Beckham. Matt Stafford, he's turnover prone, but so is Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm thinking about this situation, I'm kind of thinking, well, what's going to be the X factor here? And I feel like that X factor is going to be O-line. And the Bengals O-line, it's suspect. They didn't really change much from last year.
Yeah.
And we saw last year, they were getting Joe Burrow ran down. The man was running for his life. Like Waz was saying before, he's had to make some flashy moves to kind of help out that line. And so I just feel like that's going to be the killer here. They might make a comeback late in the game when the defense is cleared, but I just don't see Matt Stafford having the same issue that the Chiefs had with the run game being their kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I'm going to go with Rams taking it over the Bengals in this game. I'm going to say 124.
All right. Wazzle Todd, my man, who you got? Rams, Bengals, Super Bowl 56.
Yeah, I 6 points, guys. I have to say, yes, I think O-line is going to be key here. Joe Burrow got obliterated his rookie year. He got obliterated this year. I was just double checking the stats. He was the most sacked quarterback this year. 51 sacks. The guy is not. He is not new or unfamiliar with pressure and taking hits during the course of the season. We saw what happened against the Titans. He got obliterated.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He got obliterated, but he never lost his cool. He didn't get rattled. The guy got sacked 9 times and he still won the game.
Yeah.
The guy was getting pounded and chased all over the place by the Chiefs. And he still held it together. I agree. You know, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, they're gonna be making a lot of noise, and they're probably gonna get a lot of hits on them. Whether it's gonna be hurried after the throws, maybe some borderline roughing the passer might occur, and they're gonna get some sacks. But I think if any quarterback has shown that he can take hits and still step up for the next play and still deliver and not get rattled, it's him.
Joe Cool.
He's already done that. You could say that Aaron Donald and Von Miller, they're going to get a pair of sacks each. But is that going to be enough to cause him to make a turnover to get hurt and throw a pick? I'm not sure. I don't necessarily think so. I think he has literally been the epitome of Joe Cool. This whole way. It's been unbelievable. Unbelievable to watch it. People are calling him like Joe Namath, like the reincarnation of Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Just like this quarterback with swag and just just seems to have this unbreakable
It's aura.
confidence.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah,
or whatever you want to call it. I don't think when it comes to quarterback comparison, I don't think we're going to see that with Stafford. Stafford, even with regardless of pressure or whatever, Stafford will make that turnover. He had that near interception in that mid to fourth quarter against the Niners that was dropped, which could have almost sealed the game if the Niners would have caught that. If you're telling me who's going to make the more costly turnovers, I'm going to argue it's going to be Stafford. Stafford's shown that. Through his career and through postseason. This is a big stage game. Joe Burrow obviously has had that on the collegiate level, along with the Jamar Chase. I definitely think there's something to be said for that. Yeah, him and Jamar Chase have a hell of a connection together. They're obviously through their trips at LSU and now here in the NFL. What I think is going to happen is I really do feel like they need to take that same strategy they had against the Chiefs in the second half, and they need to just basically force and dare the Rams to run the ball.
Yeah.
They need to let them see if they can win with Cam Akers and Sonny Michel. And I think that's going to be a hard sell if you're going to be committing on that. Honestly, I think that's going to be a hard sell. I think they drop. I think just leave four on the line and drop back 7 majority of the time, because they obviously they have Cup. Cup's going to get open. They got Odell. Jefferson. They got weapons, but I think you dare them. You force those odd zone looks, those odd zone defenses, just whatever you want to throw at them. Just bring back the heavy defenders. I think that's going to confuse Stafford. And honestly, McVay. I don't know if you guys were watching that Niners game, but what the heck was McVay doing with some of the coaching decisions? It was kind of ridiculous. Like he burned almost all his timeouts like early in the fourth.
Yeah.
The clock, he wasted challenges. Like it was just abysmal. And I'm like, okay. If we get into, obviously, if we're going to go into a coaching thing, I know this is McVay's second Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But
he's had some questionable coaching for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit questionable. So you know what I mean? If you get a questionable possible coach, certainly a questionable quarterback. Granted, Stafford has had a hell of a first year with the Rams. I think that opens the door a little bit.
Yeah.
I know the Bengals have come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
you're making a strong case for the Bengals though right now.
Not just in winning the division, but I know that they've come out of nowhere. But they have whatever it is. There's a little bit of a it factor to them, and I know that it's hard to say because on paper, the Rams, defensively, argue better. Offensively, more weapons in the receiving core. You can make a case the Bengals maybe better run game, better running back overall. And obviously, the Rams have to maybe more experienced head coach, but honestly, though, Sean McVay has been thrown to some gaps. I know it's Stafford. He's had some, obviously, he's a top 10 quarterback. But just with what we've seen from the Bengals and what we've seen from Burrow, I'm not sure if I want to bet against this man. I just can't. I can't do it. I just feel like even if the odds are stacked against them, I'm like, even if obviously they were down 21-3 and came back.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Rams are ever going to put up that kind of a lead on them. And if the game is close, like the Bengals have had a lot of close, tough games, and they've pulled out a lot of them. The Bengals have definitely have played against some pretty top tier defense. They actually almost came back and beat San Francisco early in the year. They've had a hell of a run against tough defenses. Burrow's been sacked 51 times. I don't think even with that O-line being suspect and him getting some pressure in his, I think he's for sure the one quarterback that he can get sacked like 6-7 times in this game. Still not going to let that shake him, and I think he's still going to keep playing well. I think he's going to play well regardless. So I'm putting my faith in Burrow and the Bengals, man. I'm picking them to win and get the upset. I think the Bengals beat the Rams. I'm going to say Bengals beat the Rams. I'll say it's going to, again, most of these games have been 3-point games.
Yeah.
Most of all these playoff games, been 3-point games. Right now, I think the Rams are. I think the spread right now is 3.5. I think that's close. I think you take the Rams. I think you take the Bengals for sure, the points. But given the Bengals are going to take it, I think it's going to be 27-24 Bengals.
All right. I actually did make a case for the Bengals winning, but the only thing that stopped me from doing that was if them putting all their eggs into one basket, because I believe that the Rams, I believe the Rams have a contingency plan. They have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Because my only thoughts is if the Bengals have a plan A, what do they do if plan A doesn't work? What if they have a plan B? What if that plan B doesn't work? Do they have anything else to fall back on if their initial plan doesn't work? I don't think so. I believe they're going to be able to put up points, yes. But the thing is like, if they put all their, if they blow their load in the first half and then after that they get caught on to, then what are they going to do? But like I said, I mean, I'll buy that from you. The thing is, I understand what you mean, but I mean, I wouldn't like a couple years ago I would have said that's a bold prediction, but why I see exactly where you're coming from. But I'm gonna stick with my 31-27 predictions.
I agree with you. The Rams have more options. They have more. You could argue the Rams have more tools in their toolbox a little bit.
Right.
They got more blueprint. They have a bigger margin and more success and blueprints. Blueprints are problems that they can resolve with solutions in case something goes wrong. You know what I mean? Like they could, if the deep ball is not working or whatever it is with Stafford, they could do screens all day with Cup. You know what I mean? Like that's like their bread and butter basically, anyways. But obviously, you got two receivers with surefire hands, in Cup and Odell, and you know what I mean. And again, if Cam Akers and Sony Michel, I mean Cam Akers had a couple of good games during the course of the season. So obviously, if he tears it up, then I think it's very difficult. It's very difficult for the Bengals to win. I don't really think. I just don't trust the Rams' run game enough. And I think that we've seen the Bengals were able to put the clamps on Mahomes.
Yeah.
And that Chiefs offense in the second half. And I think they could for sure do that to the Rams. So I just feel like with that in mind, I think they do that same strategy. And obviously the Bengals could focus and try to shut down Jamar Chase. And that's another thing. They could easily do that. They could focus all their efforts on him. It could be a tough, difficult day. We did see T. Higgins make a bunch of big plays. I felt like the guy must have been it looked like every time he caught the ball, he was like a few inches taller than everyone else. Every time he was a huge target on that field. But I just do something, man. Joe got something that I just think it's hard to explain. I think Stafford is prone to some of those turnovers, and I just think that'll come up once or twice in this game. I think that'll be a deciding factor. I think Burrow stays locked in. I think the Bengals pull it off.
All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There you have it. Our Super Bowl 56 predictions. Waz, Flip, you got any final thoughts before we sign out tonight?
Hopefully it's a great Super Bowl.
Yes.
Whoever wins, I'm cool with Stafford finally getting on the Lions for damn near 10 years. That's cool with me. Joe Burrow pulling off all he does is win, and he's not Tim Tebow act is great.
Yeah.
So I mean, either way, I just hope it's a good game. It'll be fun to watch. I don't have to stress over it, unfortunately.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Waz, any final thoughts?
No, but one quick thought or question I'll say: if you're a Lions fan, are you rooting for? Are you happy if Stafford wins? Are you a little bit?
Most of them, from what I've seen, are happy for him. Most of them.
Yeah.
They have to be. They kind of like the demand right trade.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
He did servitude. I mean, it wasn't like he was in Detroit for a few years and then asked for a trade. Like, I felt like he put in like I think he was there for like 10 years, right?
10 years, yep.
He was there for nearly a decade.
Yeah, he was there for a decade.
He's Dan Lillard. He's Dane. If
Yeah.
you think about it, he's Lillard, but he's probably
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Final left for higher, better pastures.
Yeah. Well, my final thoughts is good luck to both teams. Definitely, I'm looking forward to an entertaining and exciting game. And as always, fellas, thank you guys for helping me host the Fourth and Goal podcast. I appreciate it. You know, you guys, this is our fourth year. I think it's either our fourth or fifth year doing it. Man, I lose track of time, but yeah, I think it's coming up on our fifth year doing this. So yeah, as always, thank you guys. And also,
Thanks for having us on.
yeah, no problem. And we'll probably be back on soon after All-Star Weekend to do our playoff predictions for the NBA. So stay tuned to that. But all right, gentlemen.
going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
The Lakers, oh God, man.
We'll see. We will see. After All-Star break is when you start to see. That's when you start to see who teams really are. But yeah, definitely. But all right, fellas. Thank you guys for helping me host the show. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube and on Facebook and even on TikTok. Flip Wise, I appreciate it, fellas, and I will see you next time. Peace out.